Hi there! Welcome to the Pines! My name is Alyssa, and thanks for clicking on my face and watching this video. I run a Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel called Thin Blue Pines, and there I post videos and photos of my lifestyle, and it usually is videos of my ducks, as you can probably hear in the background, and stuff about my bees and gardening and just kind of homesteading things, along with some homemaking things. About a month ago, I made a post telling all of my friends and family that I was quitting my job and that I was going to be a homemaker, and I was going to stay home and take care of my husband and my kids and my house. And I was formerly a police officer. I was a police officer for about 6 years, and I had worked for that department for about 9 years, straight out of high school. And so it was a big change for me, and it still is. And tomorrow will be a full month doing the homemaking thing. So I thought, what a good way to celebrate by making a video and addressing some comments that were made in that post. So first up, I want to say I wrote that post. It basically just said that, I was ending my chapter as a police officer and retiring very early from that career to answer a new calling that I had felt that God was calling me towards, and that was to be a homemaker. And I had addressed that was a biblical calling for my husband and I. We felt the necessity to submit to what God was convicting me to do, and that was to take better care of my family in my house. And then I had written a little bit about how I think that if you feel the call to be a homemaker, that you should go after that calling, and that it's a very important and noble calling, in my opinion. Somebody had copied and shared that post in the photo to an account on LinkedIn, and it had just exploded. It has like 77,000 likes and I'm not sure 8,000 or 9,000 comments on there. And I didn't have a LinkedIn account. I actually had to make an account with LinkedIn so I could see what was going on. But it's been really cool because it's made up of people from all over the world. So there was all sorts of people commenting on this post, sharing their opinion, and it sparked a big conversation. And here I am, this small town girl in Wisconsin with, I know almost 80,000 reactions isn't huge compared to a lot of other things that get millions and millions of reactions, but to me, I was like, holy cow. I was not expecting that, nor was it my intention. I really just wanted to share this with my friends and family and the people who follow me on my blog style accounts, that hey, this is what we're doing and this is what's new, and just kind of share that part of our life with people. And it sparked a lot of conversation, to me mostly very good. 9,000-ish comments of people sharing their stories and making just remarkable comments that I definitely don't deserve. But there was just so many people praising God in the comment section and just pouring out their experience and their well wishes, that it warmed my heart so much. And I know I haven't gotten the opportunity to read all of those comments, and I wish I could have responded to each one of them with a heartfelt response. So I just thought making a video would be a better way to address those comments and just say thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to read it, and then also to respond to it. And for those who shared it and stuff like that, just thank you. I wasn't expecting that. I really just hope that people who feel the call to be a homemaker and stay home and take care of their kids, take care of their husband, and take care of their house, I just want people to explore that option, because I think that a lot of us never thought that was an option, and maybe you didn't even really think about that choice. And as a police officer, or as a former police officer, it's still kind of weird to say, but as a former police officer, I saw a lot of homes that really could have benefited from having a parent in the house, having somebody that was diligently taking care of and raising their kids. And I just think we've gone through generations of that not being something that's looked at as a very important role. I think what we're told is to go to school, go to college, get an education, and then get a career and go after a big career and making as much money as you can, and then have a family on the side, or at least try and balance a family with that. And that's what I did. I felt the huge calling to be a police officer ever since I was like 5. Just this like literally this drive pushed me up until I felt a new calling to be a homemaker. Ever since I was really, really little, I wanted to be a police officer. I loved what they stood for, and when I finally got hired as a police officer, seriously a dream come true. And I loved the job. I loved it deeply. Trust me, there's a lot of it that I really did not like about it, but I would not have left that career if not for something so important like raising my family. I feel like if I had a different dynamic where I didn't have a family, I didn't have kids to take care of, I would be a police officer for a very long career, I feel like. But God, I felt, called me to stay home and to take care of my kids, my family. My sister, my parents watched our 2 daughters for us, and, you know, balancing a lack of sleep because we worked nights, and making sure we were at the kids' functions and that the kids had all the things that they need and that they were being taken care of and that the house was being taken care of and in order, and we were also able to have a life between going to court and going to trainings and just having other obligations. That it was a balance and it was a dance, and we did that dance for a number of years, and we just kind of thought that's how our life was going to be forever. The more that I dove into scripture and dove into listening to sermons like John MacArthur, I just really felt this tug from God that I wasn't fulfilling the role that he had created for me. He had blessed me with having a wonderful husband. He blessed me with 2 healthy babies. He blessed me with my dream home and being able to have livestock that you can hear in the background quacking, so sorry about that. But he blessed me with all these things, and I was only giving what was left of me to that. And I felt like my family is the most important thing to me ever, and I'm only giving what's left of me to that thing because my career as a police officer was sucking up so much of me, that I just was like, how is that fair? How am I fulfilling a calling? How am I doing the right thing when I'm neglecting the important things of my life? And, excuse me. You know, I felt that call probably like 3 years ago, where I was really like, I might have to make a big decision here. It took a long time for us to really just bite the bullet and make that scary decision and make that jump. So when I read comments like, you know, what a faithful servant you are to God, and listening to God's calling, and what a role model and a hero, and those kinds of words, like, trust me, I chew on them and longer than I should, and I appreciate those comments, but I don't deserve those comments at all. God really convicted me and my husband to make this decision for our family, and I was being selfish, in my opinion, trying to hold on to a title and trying to hold on to financial status and trying to hold on to just a lot of things that I thought that I wanted and was a little too afraid to let go of and fully like fall into, and fully like put all of my trust and, you know, comfort into knowing that God was going to take care of us and that my husband was going to take care of us. And it took a lot of God's convincing and God's conviction for me to be like, okay, God, I hear you. I get emotional talking about it because it just is such a pivotal moment, and it was such a huge decision that it was one of those like, okay, God, I'm gonna trust you and I'm gonna free fall, and I know that you're not gonna call me to something that you're not going to provide or that you're not going to support. And I knew full-heartedly that God was calling me to this. I mean, I can't look at a Bible verse that tells me that my main priority should be in my home and should be a husband lover and a child lover and a homemaker and be like, no, that's not me. When I have those things and that God blessed me with those things, and that I wasn't taking care of them to the level that I wanted them to be taken care of. And it was causing a lot of issues in our family life that I'm sure a lot of other people have as well. But it was like, at one point I'm like, do we want to live like this forever? Is it ethical for us to demand or need my sister to watch my babies at night for the rest of my career? How is that ethical? I was given these children to take care of, and I am just handing off my responsibility to my sister to deal with and have to work her life around, and she loves them dearly, and I am so thankful for the relationship that they have together, and my sister like would do anything for them, and I would never have put them in somebody else's care other than my own family's care. So I was lucky to have that option. I have seen people lose their kids. I have seen people get their homes taken from them. I have seen people have their husbands die or have their babies die, and have been with them during those times where they lose those things. I think that made me just realize how delicate life is. You're not guaranteed your whole life to live the right way and to eventually figure it out, and to take your salvation seriously, and to take your obedience to God seriously, because you don't expect things to happen to you, but neither do the people that it actually happens to. They don't expect that to happen to them either. Having those experiences really made me realize that you need to take your life very seriously, and you need to take your eternal life very seriously, and you're held responsible for the things that you do here on earth while you're here. And I thank God, because I feel that God called me to law enforcement. I felt a deep calling to that. Too many doors and windows opened during my process to be a police officer. Like, it just, God's hands seemed to play a role in a lot of that. And a lot of the calls that I went on, and a lot of the people that I met, and a lot of the conversations I had with people, I just felt like this is a God moment right here. This is an opportunity that I can share a little bit to somebody, or I can talk to them lovingly, and I can comfort them, or I can be there for them. And like, my relationship with God just grew so much from that career. And I feel like God knew the desire of my heart was to be a police officer. Sorry. He knew that was my desire. And he knew what he had planned for me one day. And because God is so good, because God wants to fulfill the desires of your heart, I feel like he allowed that for me. And he said, okay, here is your career. Here is the dream that you had. Go after it. Do what you want to do. I'm going to give you these experiences. I'm going to give you these heart lessons. I'm going to give you these life lessons. I'm going to give you these relationships. I'm going to give you your kids and your husband out of this career, and your home out of this career. But I'm going to call you back to what you're really called for. And here I am. I feel very blessed to be able to stay home with my kids, and I know that it is a huge gift from God to be able to do this. And I know a lot of people are either watching this or have thought before that they might want to stay home and be a homemaker, and you just don't see how you can financially make that work. And I get it. I hear you in that. I actually made slightly more money than my husband did because I had a little bit of seniority on him. So when I quit my job, I like to say that I retired early because it sounds a little bit nicer. We actually went to half of an income, a little bit less than half the income. Nothing really notable, but just enough where I'd like to tease him that I made more money than him. But so now, you know, we were only able to do that because my husband is really, really good in finances. We're very disciplined. We don't owe anybody money other than the mortgage on our house, and we're very blessed to be in that position. My husband's very frugal. I am very frugal. My husband works really hard. We have really, really cut back on our spending, really trying to make our dollar last, but hopefully that's not going to last forever, and he might have better opportunities in the future to make some more money. I may have some opportunities in the future to make money from home. There is nothing wrong with women working. You know, I am not here to tell you to quit your job and all the women stay home and get pregnant and cook for their husbands. Like, I'm not saying that. I don't think every woman's calling is to be a homemaker and a stay-at-home wife. But I do think, my personal opinion is, if you have children during the season of young children at the very least, I think you should be home taking care of your kids. And if you can make a career work from home or remotely, or have your own little business that creates an income, or you just live uncomfortably for a little bit, maybe even downsize your house. That was something that was definitely on our list, and it still is on our list if we ever need to do in the future, is we sell our home and we live in a more modest house. And those sacrifices, I feel like they're hard to make, you know, rationally, going, oh my gosh, like, we were gonna have to sell what we have now and go smaller. Like, that's a hard thing to do. But you just think about the abundance of care and love that your home is going to have with you in it, taking care of things. Now, nothing's ever going to be perfect, but for you to care for your kids, for you to care for your husband, for you to have control over your home and have things clean and organized, and you feel good. You know, you have time to work out, you have time to have some you time, you have time to take a shower. Like, it is so nice to actually have some time to yourself. Like, I have an almost 2-year-old, so she's just beep bopping everywhere all the time. But like, when it's her nap time and she goes down for a couple hours, you better believe either I am chilling and not doing anything, or I get the opportunity to tackle some projects that are hard to do while she's awake. But I really, really do think that there are so many opportunities, especially after COVID, that made everybody have to stay home and work remotely. There's a lot of opportunities out there for you to work from home or do something like that. And I know it's hard to give up a career that you worked hard for, that you maybe have student loan debt for, maybe you went to school for a really long time. Those are all decisions that you made. And usually you make a decision to have a child. You're bringing somebody else into the world, and you're expected to make sure that they turn out to be the best person that they can turn out to be, that's in your control. You made all of those decisions, and it's your responsibility to raise those children and make sure that they know how the world works, that they have good manners, that they have good morality, that they listen to their internal conscience telling them, hey, this is right, and hey, this is wrong. And kids need that. We are all born in sin. As a Christian, I believe that everybody is born in sin, and that you have to do a lot of work molding young people and molding yourself to not be a sinful person. And children especially, if nobody teaches them what's right and what's wrong, and nobody really firmly and consistently guides them to how... I'm sorry, my ducks are being loud. They're yelling at me. They want to be fed. But if you don't consistently and firmly teach your children how to think through problems, what the right decision is and why it's right, or what the wrong choice is and why it was wrong, you need to take the time every day, every single opportunity you see, to teach them. And if you are just not there because you're making money, you are not teaching them. Somebody or something else is teaching them those things, and it might not be what you agree with. And we need to take that seriously again. Being a mother, being a homemaker, being a parent are such important roles that I just feel like we're quite literally pushing to the side and being told to make a lot of money and work really hard in a career and go into debt and take out credit cards and take out loans. Like, that's what's all being marketed to us. And we, I think, need to go back to some basic concepts here and remember that raising children take a lot of work, and it takes consistent dedication, and you need to be disciplined yourself to teach your own children how to be disciplined and how to be selfless. So I'm kind of ranting here, but if you feel the call to be a homemaker, I implore you to try and at least entertain that. If it feels like it's super far-fetched, God is not going to call you to something that He is not going to make opportunities available for, or He's not going to make work for you. Part of the process, I believe, as a Christian, is that you have to trust God and that He reveals things to you along the way. And I tell you what, this decision to stay home and be a homemaker, I am 100% confident in, even though my heart aches for my career sometimes. I know for a fact that God is going to make this be a little bit more comfortable in the future. God is going to open up windows and doors and opportunities that I would have never, ever imagined. Just that post getting to LinkedIn and getting so much attention was one of those things that I feel like God was like, see, like, you didn't expect that, did you? Look at that. Pretty cool, huh? God takes care of you. You just have to trust Him. And you have to understand that you are just not going to see everything. God isn't going to show you the outlined path that He wants you to take clearly. You got to trust Him. Part of being a Christian is trusting that God's going to take care of you, especially when you don't see it, especially in the dark times, especially when you are scared, especially when things look very, very unsure. That's the point. You trust Him blindly, and that you follow Him, and that you open to your heart to Him, and you let God convict you of things that you're doing wrong. And listen, I don't think being a police officer was wrong, but I felt convicted that I was not doing the right thing and neglecting my God-given responsibilities as a wife and as a mother. And it's been a learning curve and a process, because, you know, I really thought I was going to walk into this and be like, okay, I'm going to wake up at 5:30 and have my coffee, and then I'm going to work out, and then I'm going to take a shower and do a full face of makeup and wear a nice feminine outfit, and then by that time my kids will be awake and we'll have prayer time and do reading and devotionals, and my kids will have this beautiful breakfast, and then I'll have housework to do and I'll put my apron on and everything will look great. That is not what is happening. I set an alarm for 5:30 and I've snoozed it every day in a row for a whole month now. So I have been feeding my kids, and I've been cleaning my house, and I've been hanging out with my husband, and we've been doing fun family things. One day I hope to be that 5:30 in the morning homemaker. I feel like I'll get in a better rhythm where those things might be more consistent, but I do understand that that's something to aspire to. I should say too, I know this is getting very long, and I keep saying I'm gonna have to edit this through, but I'm sorry about the ducks. It's nice to me, I'm sure it's annoying to you. This style, this, recording and talking to my phone, this isn't really me. It feels kind of weird. I'm a little bit uncomfortable doing it. I have no idea if anybody's interested in any of this, but it's one of those things that I kind of felt called to do. Obviously, I'm still trying to feel that out because it just seems a little strange to me. And I feel like who really cares what I have to say? And I'm sure a lot of people don't. But if I can get to a few women and I can make a few households run smoother, or if I can get to a few families and their children benefit from a conversation like this, like, definitely worth it. And hopefully it's more than I was ever able to do as a police officer. And I thank you for watching this, and I hope it helps. I hope it encourages you, if you feel the call to be a homemaker, to go after it and try and make it work for your family, and pray about it. Put it at God's feet and just pray. Pray that above all else, God's will is done in your life, and lay it at his feet and tell him that you're his servant and you are here. You want him to use you to glorify him and to glorify the kingdom in whatever way that he sees fit. And just lay yourself out there like that, and God is going to just glorify himself with you. Just give him an open heart and pray that he softens your heart to his ideas and his calling and his will. And he's going to use you, and he's going to bless you, and he's going to bless the people around you, and he's going to bless people that you have never met, just from you opening up your heart to him and saying that, God, I am yours. I am willing to serve you. Do whatever you want with me. Let it be your will, and please soften my heart to your callings in life, and soften me to just be a better servant for you, and just praise him throughout the day, and appreciate all of the small things in life, from the beautiful breeze to the birds to your baby's face to your husband saying something stupid that made you laugh to the fact that your car started this morning. Just appreciate all of those things, so when the bad things do happen, you can look back and be like, but God is so good. God is so good. Sucks that my car didn't start this morning, but God is so good. That my baby is sick, but you know what? God is good. God uses tragedy to glorify himself. And if something bad is going to happen, it's going to happen no matter what. But if you can control your response to that bad thing and glorify God in that terrible, evil thing, why not? Why not turn a bad situation into something that can be so beautiful and so inspiring to other people, that just draws people close into God? Why not just do that? Because hurting and being hard-hearted and just angry with the world and with God because something bad happened doesn't glorify God. And God uses pain and suffering to get our attention, and he allows evil things to happen to glorify himself. And that topic and that specific thing, why God allows evil or why God allows bad things to happen to good people, that is such a trip up to a lot of believers and such a hard concept to understand. And I'd love to do a video on that, trying to explain to the best of my ability why that happens and why God allows that. So I hope that you come back, and I hope to make more videos that are heart videos, sit down videos where you can grab a cup of coffee with me, even though I've only taken like 2 sips of this, and just sit and we have a talk about life. I'm not qualified to have, life-changing opinions about things, but I do look for advice from God, and I am what you would consider a non-denominational Christian. I consider myself simply a Christian. I follow Christ. I follow the Bible. I believe everything in the Bible to be true. But I think building up a community of people to have conversations about those things, I think would benefit a lot of people. So, now that I've babbled for a while, I hope that this might have given you a little bit of hope to go after it yourself if you want to be a homemaker. You know, it's just what's worth it to you. And personally for me, I feel like your kids are innocent and they need you. They need your guidance, they need your love, they need your support, and they need it every day and they need it consistently. And for me, working a full-time job, I wasn't able to give that to them. And I know it's hard for a lot of other women to give that to their families while working a full-time job. And so please just consider it. Our kids are only so little for so long, and it goes by so quickly. I had a honeybee trying to land on me. I appreciate you hanging out with me and listening to what I have to say. I just want to thank you so much for all of the prayers and the kind words and sharing your stories. It's just been such a blessing and so heartwarming to me to read all of those comments. There have been women who have said, like, hey, that was me. I stepped away from this career that I so loved to take care of my kids because I felt a calling from God to do that. Like, that just so uplifted my heart, and I was like, yes, awesome. Like, I'm not by myself. But I haven't seen a whole lot of people actually doing it, so it was really cool to hear from you ladies, and a lot of husbands who have said, yeah, my wife did this, or the husbands that are like, thank God for my wife because I don't know how we would do anything without her staying home and taking care of things. Like, you guys rock so much. It's been so much fun to read the comments and just read the really, really nice things that a lot of you have been saying. Thank you very, very much. And thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook. I'll be sure to post some more heart conversations like this and more pictures of my ducks and my honeybees and garden and homemaking and homesteading type of things. So please stay tuned. And thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.